Yeah, it matters a lot which part of the client organization you're talking to. Boards are very concerned about how management is adopting and using AI. Management's very concerned about the degree of investment they're making in AI and whether they're getting returns. And then employees are worried about, if I use AI, what does it mean for my job? Is it going to create opportunity for me, or is it going to create challenges for me? So I think it matters a lot who we're talking to in the organizations, but it's a complex time in the world of AI implementation.
Mandy, comment on this.
I think you're absolutely right, Joe. We've really moved from that honeymoon period between investors and the AI trades, where you can do no wrong, to you better start taking the bins out on a regular basis, otherwise I'm going to dump you. And that feels like what you're talking about when companies have all actively thrown investment into implementing AI, and then they're suddenly finding, well, it's not necessarily generating the returns that I want. How do you change that around? What is it that you would advise your clients then to do to be able to make them generate returns?
Well, Mandy, I think the biggest thing, we talk a lot about adoption, but adoption's the outcome of a great strategy. And we've talked for the last year about proofs of concept and experimentation, and frankly, those days are over. We now have to scale the impact of AI in organizations. The good news for employees is if we scale the impact of AI for organizations, I truly believe we create and unlock growth, and we're seeing that. In some of the data that we've seen, organizations that are adopting AI faster are seeing 3x the revenue per employee of organizations that are going slower. That opportunity means that it's not only a big upside for organizations, it is a big upside for employees who lean in and use these tools to help create greater productivity and outputs and creativity. And I think that combination, when organizations get that right, they get leadership alignment with the vision for employees, I think that's upside.
I mean, but going back to the earlier point about there are a number of employees out there who are scared or just unwilling to really to lean into and learn the AI tools because they're scared that they're going to be made obsolete by those very tools that they're learning on. Are we in a situation where the AI adoption is moving so fast that it doesn't allow people the time to get used to the dislocation in a timely manner? They can't upskill or reskill or get a new job or move up the value chain fast enough to keep their job.
Yeah, Mandy, there's a bunch of great points in what you just said, but let me hit two of them. One of them is this point about how fast it's all going. It's overwhelming to everybody. We talked about the boards and management teams, employees. The speed of technology innovation relative to the speed of organizational change, there's a mismatch. The tech is moving much more quickly than organizational change is moving. So that creates tension all by itself. But then let's go to the employees. So we do an annual hopes and fears survey. We ask more than 50,000 employees what they thought about AI. And the interesting thing is the individuals who were using AI, they were more optimistic about their productivity and creativity than the individuals who were not using AI. So to me, this is a story about opportunity for people that are leaning in. But the other counsel we give to clients all the time, and I feel this very strongly personally, this is a disruption in the way that workforces and technology and organizations create and distribute value, which means there's an obligation sitting in the C-suite of executives and in the C-suite boards. There's an obligation right now to make sure that you're equipping your people with the skills that they need to make this transition. Because we know that in the future, if you do not have AI skills, it's going to be very difficult to have a positive impact. And we want to make sure that we equip people with the skills that they need so that we see lots of positive impact from them in the years to come.
Yeah, just jumping in, because we were having a conversation earlier on this week, Joe, about the fact that the Trump administration is now deciding that it wants to compete in the global race, particularly against China, in the robotics space, which is sort of a natural next step when it comes to AI. Is basically like, a metal casing with AI inside, mimicking a human. Is this something that you're hearing your clients start to talk about in terms of putting humanoid-like robots into the workplace as well, to take over some of the, the basic jobs that perhaps a human doesn't want to do or can't do, or, would be cheaper for a robot to do?
Yeah, Mandy, no question we're seeing the evolution of this intersection between the physical world and the AI world, and it's really showing up in robotics. And it's really a very exciting time. If you look at the industrial capability here in Hong Kong and the Asia-Pac region, you look at the capability that the organizations have on supply chain, and then you couple it with some of the capability on enterprise broad AI in other parts of the world. I think multinational organizations that are trying to address all these opportunities, there's lots of different capabilities to draw from around the world. I'm an optimist at heart. Hopefully that's come through already. But as I watch all of these robotics capabilities, I really do look at it as an opportunity to unlock new growth. And I think this growth curve is going to be developing over time. We have to think about what that looks like over time. And it's going to really mean restructure of the way value transfers among industries and sectors. That, to me, is the management challenge of our generation. That's what C-suites and boards need to be focused on right now, is how do they navigate all of this value transition, these converging industries, this converging value, and what we call value in motion.